So I'll be doing a monologue by Pete Malicki in which he explores the reasoning behind a killer's mind. This is A Psychopath by Pete Malicki. Now, people have called me a hero, a killer, a saint, and a psychopath. They even used to say the first three all in the same sentence. Hero, killer, saint. My name is Mark Theo Carter, and well, until recently I lived a completely unremarkable life. The past 5 years I hardly worked a day and more or less lived off welfare. Now, I'm not a stupid person, but I'll be the first one to admit I'm inherently lazy. Now, if someone else wants to do the work for me, I'm not going to get in their way. The only thing most of you would find interesting about my last 5 years is that I killed 16 people. Guess that was more than enough for the life sentence. Now, I did the first one not too long after I quit my job. My latest de facto relationship had just broken down and I was going through some shit. Now, killing someone wasn't exactly on my things-to-do list, but the right situation crops up and, well, you never know what might happen. It was late on a Wednesday. There I was walking through Hyde Park when I come across what looks like a couple teenagers making out. Now, when I get closer, I see this guy's got his hand clamped around the girl's mouth and something glinting in the lamplight. He sees me, freaks a bit, holding what I can now see is a knife at her throat. "Fuck off or I cut the bitch," he says. What a chart. I keep walking towards him. She can't move her head, but her terrified eyes fix on me. He gives me that second and last warning bullshit, so I say to him, "Have you ever done this before, boy? You're holding that little butter knife like you're ready to spread some Vegemite on your toast." I'm real close now. I can see he's still got his pants on. If you don't mind me getting her a little messy, I can show you a trick or two with that Swiss Army. Guy stares at me for a long moment. He recognizes a stronger male. The girl's so scared she can't move a muscle, let alone work up the breath for a good scream. I crouch down beside her head and shoulders and look at the guy straight in the eye. He's curious, so he hands me the knife. I feel this overpowering hatred take control of me. This sensation's way too much for me to deal with, and I need to get rid of it fast. I grab the knife, and it's over in a second. His throat is gashed, and he collapses in a heap of bleeding, dead shit. She lies there whimpering for almost a minute before I finally pull her on her feet and send her on her merry way. Got off without so much as a wrist slap for this one. Girl told the court he attacked me, and I somehow managed to defend myself and take his weapon. Media called me a hero. Girl's family was ready to bloody knife me. Now, the second guy didn't get me quite the same reception. I'd been helping my brother load electronics into his store at the way. I left when I was finished, but turned back 10 minutes later because I forgot my wallet. Now there's this guy stuffing cameras into a garbage bag, and I yell, "Hey!" And he turns around to find my fist breaking his nose. I thought it'd be over in 2 seconds, but this guy was tough. He hit me right back. We ended up on the floor. I rolled on top of him, grabbed a fistful of his long Fabio hair, made it real easy to smash his head into the ground. Now, it was years later before they pinned it on me, but he's one of the 4 I'm charged with killing. Before my trial, the shrinks all agreed I was a psychopath. Now, most people wouldn't have the first clue what this is. You see movies with complete crazies, killing people at random or making skin suits or whatever, but that's not what a psycho is. Well, quite simply, we're people who don't feel guilt, remorse, or empathy. That's the biggest distinction between me and you. Now, it doesn't mean we're naturally wired to kill people or that we enjoy it or seek it out. We just don't feel anything when it happens. It's like having a cup of fucking tea. Oh, well, what's that look on your faces? I know you all came here to feel superior, but isn't it a little early for your holier-than-thou act to start? Now, I was a saint for the first 28 years of my life, didn't hardly hurt a fly. The rapist set me off, and it was only after him I killed people. Now, in my early 20s, I actually worked at a charity, helping the poor. I volunteered 1 day a week at an animal shelter, and I was a lifeguard. Now, I never felt anything for any of these things, but your intellect and your emotions are quite separate things. So I just did what I thought was right, even though I didn't get the thrill of do-goodery all you would have. Now, the third guy was on a train, of all places. He was using his keys to graffiti the walls and playing that awful fucking doof-doof music real loud on his phone. Now, the kid was getting under my skin, so I pushed him in the shoulder and told him to cut that shit out. And he says, "Don't touch me, cunt!" Now, I don't like being called names. So I took his keys and put them out the nearest window. He took a swipe at my face, and a minute later, I choked that little dick to death. 4, 5, and 6 were all in a similar fashion. Young fuck-up type guys doing something antisocial in my face who didn't like it when I told him to stop. Had one guy blow smoke in my face and put a cigarette out on my arm. I actually enjoyed killing him. Now, 7 was a drunk who picked a fight with me, which I well and truly won. 8 and 9 were drug dealers from my old high school, peddling shit in my neighborhood. I told them where to go, and one of them pulled a gun on me, so I shot them both in the laneway near my unit. 10 was... What? Is this boring you? You want me to skip ahead? Fine. So the last guy was known to me. I received Christmas cards from him after I saved his life 8 years back. He was down at Bondi and got his stupid ass caught in a wreck, and being a lifeguard, well, it was up to me to rescue him. This guy bought me and the others a drink to thank me for the extra life. You know, seemed like a decent fellow. A few years later, he bumps into my friend Sam from the surf club, buys her a few drinks, and ends up taking her home. Now, she gets cold feet as the beers wear off, but he doesn't take no for an answer. So he rapes her a couple of times. She's too chicken to go to the cops, so he gets away with it. I see him all these years later on Pitt Street. Now, I saved this fucker's life, and he thanks the world by sexually assaulting my friend. So I asked myself, why help people? Made me realize I could do society a much bigger favor by killing people I know are bad, rather than helping ones who may or may not be good. Now, a dead scumbag is a dead scumbag, but a living person could do anything. So I took out the only weapon I had, a pen, and I stabbed this guy in the neck right in the middle of Pitt Street. Everyone starts screaming, and he collapsed to the ground, tried to crawl away, bleeding all over the damn place. I watched him for 3 whole minutes before some cop had his gun in my face. Anyway, well, that's my story. Make of it what you will, and judge me as much as you see fit. God knows I'm judging you, hypocritical shitbags. I'm Theo Carter, hero, killer, psychopath. Thank you.